What's up, everybody? Matt Jinks here, and this time I'm going to elaborate on the single stroke technique, okay, and techniques in general. Alright, for traditional and match grip. So whatever the technique is on match grip, you use the same ideas and technique for both hands. Alright, make sure, since it's called match grip, both hands should match. They should both look the same, exactly the same. So you're going to have to do a lot of traveling your eyes back and forth like you're watching a tennis match to make sure both hands are moving the same, both hands feel the same, and they look the same. Okay? They have to mirror each other. Alright? Tapping on my bracelets here. Alright, so there you have it. So you got the arm angle. You see both of my elbows are away from my body. You know, they're not like that. The only time you play like that is if you're playing tenor drums in a drum line. Alright? But for the most part, snare drum technique and just practicing the rudiments, you want to keep your arms out away from your body. Plus, that helps you also play with the ride cymbal, you know, on your drum set. Because hold your arm up for a long time, and it starts to burn in the shoulder and under your arm and your side a little bit too. So get used to doing that for your rudiments. Okay? As I said before, your set position, your stick should be on a down angle. So when you do start to play, you know, that down angle is kind of in between the surface and up here. You can use a little bit more arm, but for the most part, that's it. Okay? Now, in traditional grip, as you remember, I said it's all about the turn. Keep my elbow from I just like to play threes all the time, so that's why my elbow is flapping back and forth. And even with diddles, you'll get that a little bit. All right, but for the single strokes, it's all about the turn. Make sure you get the same height every time, a nice consistent stroke, nice consistent turn. Hitting the same spot, because if you hit on different spots of a drum, you're going to get a different sound. So when you're on your practice pad, you want to make sure that you're hitting in the same spot every time. Can't wait to get a new notepad. That blurry stick, as soon as I start playing, the sticks trail a little bit. See that? So, hopefully, next week or so I can get my new notebook. Alright, so back to this. If you've got the technique going right, I'm going to move this over a little bit. You've got the technique going so that when the front of the stick goes down, the back comes up, and the stick is always against your hand. Because these two back fingers, even the third one, they're constantly squeezing up. Alright? Always squeezing up. Squeeze the back of the stick up. You notice every time I do that, my wrist comes up. Okay? Because your wrist is the end of your forearm. Don't think of your wrist as a pivot point, because it's not. Now on the left hand, same thing. You see all that turn? There's no like up and down movement of my forearm. It's just turning. Turn, 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 turn. Okay, you want to make sure the stick is going straight up and down. For the most part, hitting in the same spot. See that jumping around a little bit. Now, of course, you see the bigger the note you want to get. See my forearm coming up a little bit. And just as you get like right down here, you start turning it, turn into the surface. Just turn into the surface when you're on your way down. Lift up, you got to turn up and then turn down. You know, one thing I used to do was this. Always putting a little pressure on my first finger and my thumb, you know, and try to push the stick down and give resistance with your right. Okay, that helps to feel where those muscles are. Okay. So you can see that this way. I'll turn. And the back of my hand, well, I guess it doesn't come out that far, but you want to think of it as when you're done, the back part of your hand here is going like straight down to the ground. Okay, like you could take something and, you know, lean against a wall, and that's where your hand should end up. You don't want it to end up like that, you know, where you're still looking at the palm of your hand. When you look down, your hand, left hand, should be like sideways. Okay, like match grip is this way, traditional grip is that way. Okay? So the best thing to do, well, actually the best thing I did when I first was working on my technique in really detail, I walked around for a few days and just did kind of like single stroke roll in the air. Okay? So you can just feel all those movements, all the muscles going. And it's got to be extreme because you're never really hitting the surface. But it helps to over-exaggerate your motions. I don't think, lots of people don't still do that with their little finger. I just like to do it. It gives me a little extra control on some patterns. Okay? You don't have to do it. You can do it a little bit more relaxed, you know, like that. But always try to keep, you know, space in between your fingers. Don't let your fingers crunch up in a ball, even on match grip. Make sure there's a little space in between each one of these fingers, okay, because that helps spread your hand apart, spread the muscles apart, so you cover more area of the stick, and it gives room for the muscles to grow and get bigger as you get better with your technique. All right, if you have everything crunched up, the strong muscles are going to overtake the weak muscles. The weak muscles will never get weaker. Yeah, the strong muscles will get stronger, but it's just not a good technique to have. All right, try to use all of the muscles that you have in your hands, your fingers, and your arms, so that you can, you know, just be as strong as you can. So you don't have to use all those muscles all the time. But if you need them, they're there. And if you don't need them to play, you use them for control. All right. So once you get the look of it down and the idea of everything in your head, you want to just practice single stroke rudiments, single stroke rolls, the 2s, the 4s, even, you know, do some 3s, so you can work up to that. But just keep it all with the single stroke rudiments. You know, your 6 templates. Make sure you're alternating everything, whatever alternates. Make sure it alternates, stays on the same hand. Do it on the same hand for a while, then switch over to the left. Okay? And if you want to go from traditional grip to match, you know, just make sure you do everything on both grips. Okay? So, that'll be it for technique of single strokes, and until next time, keep drumming.